Hello Lightbenders, Bruno here from Lightbend Images and Photography. I am coming to you literally from a backyard in Perth in Western Australia. I am a corporate headshot and portrait photographer, but recently I embarked on large format photography, and just like many large format photographers, I've been photographing a lot of outdoorsy subjects. But the problem that I'm having with things that I'm photographing and all the learning that I'm getting from you guys online was focusing and sharpness. Then I found out the focusing technique that we all are employing at this particular time is not caring for my sharpness, because if I was to close my lens, I don't know at which point I need to stop, because your ground glass gets so dark that you cannot see, if everything is sharp as you think they should be. So for that reason, I've been getting a lot of images that got the mid parts very, very mushy. So I said there must be another technique that can give me a confirmation, or that can give me a base aperture to get my depth of field covered. And I came across that through various researches and articles and stuff. But Nick Carver from Nick Carver Photography kind of bridged the gap between what I was missing and what he's doing. And so for that reason now, I need to test Nick Carver methodology and what I came across. In part one, I photographed a building thinking that I'm gonna need to swing, and I did not need to swing. And the second building that I'm photographing right now required the same thing, but yet I found out that it wasn't required, and so on. And then this is what happened. All right, so this is my second exposure, or this is gonna be my second composition. And as the photo gods would have it, the sky started to clear a little bit on this side here, and that's perfect. So I hope that I get to set up very quickly so I can capture the shots with a little bit of blue sky in the back, as opposed to the one that was just flat dead. And yeah, so let's get this show on the road. Okay, so far I got my composition all done already, and the only thing that I've done was more front standard or lens rise. It started drizzling a little bit as well. And so I leveled up everything and pan my camera to get my horizontal to be horizontal. And then I just need to set my depth of field. And once again, I'm gonna use the road dividers in the middle of the road there as my near. And I want to determine my far as after I set this up. So I got this as, so that's 155.5, and my fire just gonna be one of the trees way in the back there. Even though I'm shooting at an angle to the building, and I got a lot of uprights as well, and so for me, having to use a swing is gonna actually make things a lot harder, and so on. So I'm gonna go with the image plane focusing by setting up my depth of field, the near point and my far point, and then I would know exactly where I need to focus in the middle of the scene here. So I just need to remember this again. So we have 155 or 155.5. So my fire just gonna be those trees in the back there. So my bellows movement is actually 6 millimeters, so that's a little bit huge, and I could go with it, but I'm just gonna see if I can go with a little bit of swing here and see if my image plane focus is gonna change my bellows movement to give me a new depth of field, and then with an aperture that I can cover things very, very, very well. All right, so let's try that. That's massive. So swing is required here, but I don't know why I can't do the swing. So I'm gonna have to go through this process again and just make sure that my camera is level properly, because that could cost me 2 millimeters here, and those 2 millimeters would be exactly what I need for my image plane focusing to work. All right, so already I can see that my front standard is not in place as it should. It was leaning too far back. Okay, so I think I got everything lined up properly. So let's try image plane focusing again and see what are my bellows movements. All right, where is my point? There it is. Okay, so that's my knee here done. So now it's reading 146, and my far, much better already. That's it, that's what I'm talking about. So my far now is 143, so 146 and 143, that's only 3 millimeter. And before that, my movement or my front standard and back standard, they were a little bit out of whack. My bellows movements were 6 millimeters, so 3 millimeter I can deal with that. 6, no. All right, so now with that, knowing that, you know, I'm really happy. So now I just need to set my focus. So now I'm gonna close my aperture down, you know, checking up those tiny writings over there and see if I can bring him into focus. If I can bring him into focus, I know that the big stuff, they're gonna be in focus. All right, and that's gonna be the aperture that I'm gonna be shooting at. Okay, so let's go, baby. All right. So what I'm doing here, because I love this loop got a focusing as well. So if I'm not seeing things as I think I should, maybe this has been turning, so it's out of focus a little bit, and I just need to bring it into focus, then I can double check. And then I just did that. I can read some of the things that I wanted to read. So now I'm just gonna check the aperture that's been given to me here while I'm closing down. So it's giving to me f16. So f16 is exactly what I need it to be. You know, f15 effectively, but f16 is what it should be. But I'm gonna meter and maybe try to close that a little bit more. Because even though those glasses look dark, they actually just transition, and they're trifocal as well, allow me to see close, you know, mid distance and far distance. So because of that, my eyes might not be as reliable as the technique, and the technique is what's kind of helping me to get everything in focus. All right, so let's meter that and fire a shot. And now I got a lot of sun. It's just so ironic that I was shooting the other one there. I was struggling. I was waiting for the sun, and I got too much of it. So because of that, I got most of the cloud now taking up my background, and I wanted that blue sky that was open to me for a second here, but now it's gone because the clouds are moving so fast, and the only thing that I could do is actually wait for that blue sky to come across above the building again. And if I was to wait for that, then at the same time too, clouds might even block the sun, and it's like you know, playing catch-22 here. All right, so I am gonna want that side of the building here to be completely white, and right now I cannot get that reading because it's too bright. It's way beyond my the ISO that I have at this present time. But in the meantime, I'm gonna close my aperture down, close my lens, cock the shutter, and just wait for whichever reading I'm gonna be getting. So now the sun is going down just a touch, and I'm gonna meter here. So it's giving me 17, oh, that's 18 bullets, 17 and 2 bullets. Yeah, so we got a little bit of blue sky there. So I am going to put my 17 just there. So to shoot this, I need to shoot this at f22 and 1/3 at 1/15 of a second. But the sun just came out again, so I may have to hold on because it's getting too bright. So I wanted to shoot this at f22 or f22 and 1/3. So at 1/15th of a second. So I'm gonna keep it there and just keep checking on that light for it to get back to where it was before, and I can fire. There's a carpentry shop just right behind the building, and spoken to the gentleman to make me a contact print holder, and we're there. Sweet. As you can see, I did not need a swing to cover my depth of field here. And there was a tiny writing on the building that I wanted to see, and this is it. But I did not get it as clean and as sharp as I want to. And this is where I'm failing right now. And this is what this is why I'm gonna keep testing until I can get such small detail like that to be as sharp as if you were looking at it like a foot away. And this is my challenge going forward with the focusing. But along the way as well, I'm gonna find a way to see when a tilt or a swing is gonna be needed. And what I love about image frame focusing, it's putting me right into the ballpark with the aperture that I need to cover the depth of field that I set, because I have to set my depth of field, my near, and my far. And then from there, I can focus within that depth of field to get the sharpness that I want. All right, so part 3 is coming up, and it's gonna be another building as well, and I'm gonna be photographing across the street, and I can't wait to see if a swing will be required. And if you want to join me on that journey, by all means, you know what to do. So until then, cheers. Since you got a camera, I got a camera, it's most likely we run into each other again. Bruno.
Sandy.
Yeah, Sandy, nice to meet you. Cheers.